I think like we agree, but we have different ideas of what's happening.
I would call clavicular breathing. So when like
How ironic.
yeah. I have to think of a different name now. My mind is blown that this is something, okay.
That's not what aspirate means. Aspirating means to choke on water. Is this based in any kind of reality, do you think?
I mean, no.
No, definitely not. It seems like every video on YouTube recently is either about looksmaxxing, AI, or GLP-1s. And guess what? I just learned about voicemaxxing, and now I intend to make that your problem. Hi, I'm Renee, and I'm a gender-affirming voice teacher. Before we get into it, quick announcement. It is Pride Month, which means two things. One, the Out Loud 30-Day Trans Voice Practice Challenge is happening right now, and it's where I send you free daily practice prompts in your inbox every day this month. So please go sign up for that. You haven't missed much. And all of my courses are also 33% off with the code OUTLOUD33. Both of those things are linked in the description. Okay, now back to voicemaxxing. First of all, what the heck is it? Let me give you a little context.
Welcome to the internet. Have a look around.
You may have heard of looksmaxxing. It's an online self-improvement trend, and I'm using that term very loosely. Originally coined on incel forums and later popularized on TikTok, focused on maximizing your physical attractiveness. It ranges from pretty benign stuff like skincare and going to the gym, all the way to more extreme interventions like bone smashing and hard drugs.
Which was problematic.
If you haven't heard of clavicular yet, I envy you, and maybe you should just turn this video off and return to wherever you have been for however long you've been there.
We have to go back!
Voicemaxxing is exactly what it sounds like, a subset of looksmaxxing focused specifically on the voice. It's targeted at cis men trying to sound deeper, more authoritative, more, in their words, masculine.
Like what my teachers tried to do to me in the 90s when they said that was why I was being bullied.
Oh dear. It's full circle. Now, I don't necessarily want to compare looksmaxxing to gender-affirming care because I think they are fundamentally different in many ways. Looksmaxxing is rooted in the idea that physical attractiveness, as defined by rigid and racist and fascist set of guidelines, is the only thing that matters in life, even at the expense of your life expectancy and general health. Now, while many trans people do look more attractive after transition, I believe that's because transition is the fountain of youth. But seriously, it's because you can see the light of life return to a trans person's eyes as gender-affirming care helps them become in tune with who they are. Looksmaxxers, on the other hand, tend to have that glossy, dead-inside stare.
It's the eyes, David.
I just think it's interesting that there's like this Venn diagram of like looksmaxxing and gender-affirming care, and inside we have like hormone replacement therapy, surgery, and now voice training.
But looksmaxxers take looks to the max.
I also think it's interesting that the bodily autonomy that many looksmaxxers avail themselves of is the very same bodily autonomy that is often denied to trans people. Go figure. Anyway, I was introduced to voicemaxxing by the incredibly brilliant Nora Mahon during a recent training she gave through the Vocal Congruence Project. If you haven't heard of the Vocal Congruence Project, it is an incredible resource for gender-affirming voice, and I will link it in the description. Nora has also been a guest on this channel where we talked about how to find a trans voice coach or a speech-language pathologist, and that interview is linked below. I highly recommend it, unlike what we're about to do, which I do not recommend at all. So the question I kept coming back to after Nora's training was, obviously I do believe that you can train your voice to sound deeper and more masculine, because that is literally what I offer with my course, Masculinize Your Voice Without Testosterone. But is there any merit to what the voicemaxxers are actually doing? Are they onto something? Are they accidentally right? Did they finally find the mythical one weird trick? To dig into that, I invited my friend and colleague, Rory Jack, a speech-language pathologist and gender-affirming voice care provider, to sit down with me and react to some voicemaxxing content that Nora very kindly put together for us. Check it out. Well, Rory, thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure.
Yeah, so I met Rory a couple years ago when you took my training.
I took your teacher training in the summer, and because we're both in Montreal, it was like, duh.
Yeah, now we're friends. So they were kind enough to come be our very first guest on set. Isn't that exciting?
It feels cool.
Yeah.
I know. I'm like long-time watcher, first-time caller, I guess. Is that what you call it?
So you know Nora Mahon. Nora, you're the best. Well, she was kind enough to make a selection of Voicemaxxing videos for us to watch together. Now, before we jump in, what are your expectations? Do you have any?
I mean, they're quite low, to be honest. It's gonna be cringe. It's gonna be cringe.
See, I'm kind of excited because I love masculinity, like in this form sometimes. Like sometimes I'll go to the gym and be around all these like super,
That's so
and
the
I'm
opposite
like,
of me.
I feel so gender affirmed right now. So I'm excited.
I'm just like, I feel like they can tell I'm not one of them or something. Okay.
So I'm excited. Okay, so Nora has broken these up into some sections, and the first one we're going to look at is the representative ones. So I guess these are two videos that are more representative.
quintessential,
Yes,
yeah.
quintessential
Okay.
voice maxing.
All right.
Maxing that most people don't talk about. One that will elevate your personal and professional life. Voice maxing. If you're a guy and have a high-pitched voice or a voice that you think isn't appealing, then you've probably hoped a million times that you could sound different. Maybe you already have a deep voice, but want to make it deeper, seductive, and more intimidating.
Okay,
So already they're only mentioning pitch, first of all.
Okay.
And it makes me uncomfortable how they attach it to like professional success. It's
And
like,
being appealing, attractive, yeah.
Yeah.
Although right away I'm seeing like things that trans men would definitely relate to here.
yeah. Some.
Some.
Yeah.
Okay, more? Should we continue?
Yeah, let's do it.
So in this video, I'll share some tips and tricks to help you achieve a fuller, more commanding voice, including a few exercises that will strengthen your vocal muscles.
Just a bunch of head shaking.
Yeah, just do this and it'll be deeper and stronger. Oh no.
Strengthen your neck muscles. If you've been researching how to deepen your voice, then you've probably
Okay, right
come-
away, like from a speech language pathology perspective,
Yeah.
tell me what is wrong with strengthen your neck muscles.
Well, voice training isn't necessarily about, oh, my muscles are too weak, right? Like then we're getting into like voice therapy territory where there's like some kind of underlying pathology, whether it's like a vocal fold paralysis or there's something going on with the nerves. So you don't need to make your muscles stronger to have a masculine voice.
No, you don't.
Let's.
All right.
Across a lot of talk about this online, and it actually does work.
Oh.
If you put your hand on your throat,
Where
you'll feel
are the
two long
references?
muscles that run down from behind your ear to your collarbone.
Sternocleidomastoids.
These are your sternocleidomastoids,
Oh.
the muscles that allow you to move your neck from left to right, as well as up and down. But they also influence your voice. When these muscles are tense,
sure.
they
Yeah.
put pressure on your vocal cords, making your voice sound high.
Wait, what?
No.
Did he say that the muscle puts pressure on your vocal folds? Is that what he said?
Yeah, that's what he said. Okay, wait. He said if they're tense, it puts pressure on your vocal folds, your vocal cords, and makes your voice sound higher. Why is that not right?
Well, because these muscles don't touch your vocal folds.
Not at all. Vocal
guess
folds are
that's the
protected
first
by
reason.
cartilage.
Yeah, it's in a little house of cartilage. There's still some debate on like if muscle tension dysphonia is a real thing or if it's more like a group of symptoms or anyways, sometimes the sternocleidomastoids are talked about with regards to like muscle tension, I guess.
But okay, I have a question though, because
Yeah.
we do talk in trans voice training about how when we want to like deepen or create like darker resonance, we have to do some relaxation, and having like a generalized tension in the body can prevent that from happening. So do you think there's like something to be said?
I'm hesitant to give them too much credit, which is maybe my default, is I don't want to be like a part of what they're saying is true. But yeah, so if you want like a darker resonance, usually you would want, you're thinking big, more space
More
to get
space.
that darker resonance.
But importantly, it would not make your pitch higher necessarily.
No, just I would assume like the resonance would be affected, but the sternocleidomastoids aren't really the muscles that I'm thinking of.
No, me
with
neither.
that, it's more the ones that are attached to the top of your larynx, to the base of your tongue, kind of.
Yeah, 0 out of 10.
Yeah, 0 to 10.
So just relax.
And easily enough, your voice gets lower.
No.
One way I recommend you do this is by strengthening your neck muscles.
See, this is the
Stronger
opposite of what I
muscles
think
are better at meeting
would
the
decrease
demands
tension.
you place on them daily. which means they're less likely to tighten up and fail you when you need them most.
Are they gonna
An
show us
exercise
some
that really helps with strengthening your neck muscles are neck crunches.
Oh, boy.
Basically, lay on a flat surface and slowly
try
nod
some
your
of
head
these?
No.
from horizontal to vertical, tucking in your chin. Record
Okay.
your voice
Okay, but he's moving his whole torso though.
Okay, there's the other thing, is that neck strengthening is a valid exercise. Like, and there are use cases for it, especially like people in high contact sports like football and in boxing, like they do neck exercises to prevent head injury from being worse or neck injury when they're racing for impact. But I think this is the exact opposite that you would want if you were trying to decrease tension. It's like decrease tension by
You
really.
want to stretch. You don't want to
Yeah,
strengthen.
you don't want to strengthen. You want to stretch. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
As your neck muscles grow stronger, you'll start to see a difference, although your voice might get higher before it starts to get lower. You can also try stretching your neck to relieve any tension that might build up with the
stretching.
exercises. In addition, you can experiment with a neck harness
Oh
to
my
build your
God.
muscles at the back of your neck, as well as the front of your neck, which will deepen your voice.
No, it won't.
2.
Wow.
Breathe from the
Okay,
diaphragm.
I think it won't deepen your voice.
Oh, we're going to a better place.
Okay, breathe from the
Breathe
diaphragm.
from the diaphragm.
We have so much. We're going to be here for
There's so many
hours.
videos.
That's good. That's good.
I'm doing it.
Now, if your shoulders go up and down as you breathe in and out, you're doing it wrong. It's called shallow breathing. Most people, not just dudes, are guilty of it. While it does work to getting
agree.
air into your lungs, this way of breathing shifts pressure to the upper half of your torso, putting tension on your neck and vocal cords. Instead, breathe with the muscle that you're actually supposed to breathe with, the diaphragm. As you inhale, try to shift the effort downward so your
both
stomach
breathing
flexes
aggressively.
out while your shoulders remain completely still.
Okay, I will say I agree with
Yeah, me
this, but I take issue with the phrase breathe with your diaphragm because the diaphragm is autonomic. You can't more engage your diaphragm. What you can do is like relax your core so that it moves down and out of the way so that your lungs have a place to open into, which a lot of people don't do because we're always holding our guts in.
Yeah. I tend not to point it out unless I do notice what I would call clavicular breathing. So when like
How ironic.
yeah. Oh, no. I have to think of a different name now. But I call it like belly breathing probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it though. Like I like the ideas here.
This one, I was gonna say it slaps. It doesn't slap. It's
fine.
better than the first one.
It's fine.
It's functional.
It's
Yeah,
totally
it's
functional.
functional.
Exactly.
Abs rather than your chest. This one change will have the greatest impact on the depth of your voice. It also has many other benefits, like reducing stress and improving athletic performance.
Okay, sure.
3, drink more
Whoa,
water.
but he didn't really tell us how to do it. Just
Well, that's the thing. He's pulling together clips of
people
a
exercising.
bunch of people breathing, and it's like, how do you do it?
Yeah,
Like,
do you have a cue that you give to clients to help them belly breathe?
sometimes it's just a hand.
I've had people lie on the ground and simply
Yeah,
lie on the
that
ground
works
and
too.
breathe. I find that provokes belly breathing
Yeah,
in a very natural way.
yeah. I've tried that before, but I guess I work mostly virtually, so it's sometimes a little bit challenging. But yeah.
Next one is drink more water, which I'm not mad at either. Let's keep going.
Drinking water has many benefits, including deepening your voice. You know how the depth of your voice is partly caused by the size of your vocal cords? Well, dehydration literally shrinks your vocal cords.
Oh my
Drawing
God.
enough water will lead to loss of mass, leaving you with thinner, squeakier vocal
Is
cords.
this based in any kind of reality, do you think?
I mean, no.
No, definitely not.
Drinking water is a huge part of like overall vocal hygiene.
Yes. Can you imagine? Like you can change the size and shape of your vocal folds
mean,
by
we would
drinking
be out of
water.
the job.
Seriously, people would be dehydrating themselves
around,
or
yeah.
hydrating. Like that's just not a thing.
Yeah.
It's just not a
No,
thing.
that's ridiculous.
Fact, a recent study found
He's
that
kind of
75%
mean.
He is kinda
He's like,
mean.
You're
drink
you're
way
wrong.
below the
These are the
recommended
reasons
daily
why.
intake, which is
Also, you don't have to
probably
drink
why
water.
men
You can.
with higher
This is coffee
cirrhosis.
and
The solution,
tonic.
Yeah.
make things easier
And it's
for yourself.
hydrating.
If you work at a desk, get a big water bottle, one that can hold 3 to 4 liters.
Okay,
3 to 4 liters?
wait.
That's a lot of water.
It's too much water.
That's too much water.
You can drink too much water. It's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, we made a whole video on vocal hydration, and so I'll link that below, but go watch it. You get hydration from food. You get
Yeah.
hydration from any liquid. Like,
That's the thing is what you prefer too.
and if you want a coffee tonic instead of
Yeah.
water,
Then go to your friend Renee's house and they will make you one.
Voice. 4. Down talking technique. The down talking technique is pretty simple. It's basically just slowing down and deepening your voice toward the end of your sentence.
Vocal fry.
This is a
Okay.
trick that can make you sound confident and commanding. It'll take a few tries to get it right.
Just make sure to end it at a lower range.
At a lower range. To sound confident and commanding.
What? It sounds like a cue, you know what I mean? Like that will help them remember to keep their pitch in the range they're going for.
Maybe,
Like that could
yeah.
be a cue. I'm giving them too much credit again,
Yeah.
aren't I? Okay, let's keep listening.
It's a lot easier than you imagine. 5.
Oh, that's
the
it.
straw
Oh, that's it.
technique.
Wow.
Blowing
Straw
bubbles through
technique.
a straw into a cup of water while
Okay.
making sounds can help increase airflow
I'm
and
curious what
relax
they-
the muscles in your throat. This could help you produce a more resonant
Did they say
voice.
reduce
The straw
airflow?
techniques the muscles into a cup of water while making sounds can help increase airflow
Increase.
and relax the muscles in your throat. This could help you produce a more resonant voice. The straw technique stretches and relaxes the vocal cords, which can help make your voice stronger. 6.
Okay,
Okay, wait,
whoa,
okay.
whoa.
There were so many moments where I was like, we're going down the right, and then he says something
you're like,
about,
well,
yeah,
not
like
quite.
strong. I'm like, no, no.
So we made 2 videos about straw phonation on this channel.
I may or may not have watched them.
It does relax your vocal folds.
Sure, it opens the you know, like the pharynx, I guess, your throat.
It provides like a balance of pressure on either side so that the vocal folds can come together gently.
I think they're almost there with this one, to be honest. They just need to switch out a few words.
Like it doesn't stretch your vocal folds. No.
Yeah. Or Coca-Cola.
That's his
maybe?
coffee tonic.
Yeah. I mean, it's a liquid.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. This one's like a 3 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different pages. The language is a little meh.
Be monotone.
Oh
One name
no.
that comes up a lot when discussing men with deep voices is Clint Eastwood.
The
You wanna
worst.
know an interesting thing? When it comes to pitch, Eastwood doesn't have a deep voice. It's about average. But the one thing he does have is a
I mean,
lot
I
of
don't know his
melody.
actual pitch.
This
Like,
is
I've
a
never
very
heard
Me
his
neither.
pitch,
Me
but-
neither.
In fact, a recent study found that men with monotone voices tend to have more sex appeal than those who don't. When you speak in a monotone voice, you sound more masculine.
Oh my
and
God!
trick people into thinking your
Christopher
voice
Walken.
is deep. 7.
Whoa,
Nasal
okay. Oh my God. That one we can throw
blow
right
after blow?
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, seriously. Talk monotone, like,
Gives you a sexier voice.
I hate anything that robs men of the ability to be emotionally expressive. Like,
This is like categorically you will have an appealing voice if you do this.
yeah, which will lead to the outcome of more,
More
sex,
sex. Yeah.
which is not quantifiable at all.
Interesting.
Hate that.
Yeah. Let's get in touch with our emotions.
Yeah, please, God, please, especially the Looksmaxxers.
Another trick to deepen your voice is to consciously breathe through your nose. Most men make the mistake of breathing through their mouths when they speak, which makes their voices sound high-pitched. So be conscious of breathing through your nose when you speak
mean, that's
for
just
a healthier
wrong.
and more powerful voice.
Tell us why
That's
that's
space for-
wrong.
It just isn't right.
Yeah.
Like, when you breathe through your nose, your mouth is closed. You're supposed, I mean, at rest when you're not speaking or swallowing, your mouth should be closed to, you know, promote good facial development and all this. But it does not change your pitch. Yeah.
No. I'm going to play devil's advocate because I hate myself, apparently. But I will say I have seen in certain students who are breathing through their mouth, they will sometimes hold their breath at the top.
Yes.
And that will create this micro tension that then creates like a glottal stop at the beginning of a sentence, which might give the impression of like a higher frequency because it's like that kind of sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So breathing through the nose will kind of position the vocal folds to phonate more in a more coordinated way. At least this can happen.
Yeah. Sometimes when we breathe through our nose, it can also it can be a very like shallow breath sometimes.
Interesting.
And if you don't have enough air, you tend to push and squeeze. So
Okay.
you do get kind of a pressed voice sometimes. But
And
yeah.
this is what I think though. People are looking at this, and for some people, it probably is provoking changes that are positive for them.
Yeah, some of them.
Some of them, maybe. Like
Yeah.
anything, it's like a broken clock situation though, you know what I mean? Not a they know what they're talking about situation.
8. Aspirate.
Aspirate.
Have you ever heard Tom Hiddleston speak?
Old Trafford, where Manchester United play.
You probably think he has a deep voice, right? Well, not so much a deep voice, but he does use a neat trick. Now try talking in a breathier, more aspirated tone, as
okay.
if you're speaking.
Okay.
That's not what aspirate means, first of all.
No. Wait, I want to hear where are they
Go
going
ahead.
with this?
through a sigh, just like Tom Hiddleston, and you'll see a major difference in the depth of your voice. You'll notice your voice deepen as soon as you take on this breathier kind of tone.
Breathiness.
And not
okay.
only does this make your voice deeper, but it makes it more attractive.
That's
Now
so
that we've
interesting
covered
because
the
usually on the spectrum of like vocal weight, where we have like that's on the more
Feminine
like,
side,
feminine side
yeah.
too, which is so fascinating. I mean, you can really mix and match.
You really
Reference to-
can.
link below. Renée Yoxon mix and match.
That is so fascinating. You're totally right, because we
yeah.
often associate higher vocal weight, so like more
Like heavier.
adduction, more pressure with masculinity, and then a lightness with femininity.
Yeah.
And then breathiness is like the ultimate expression of lightness.
Yeah. So it's interesting that they're kind of switching. Listen, like you could have a masculine voice that has lighter vocal weight or heavier vocal weight.
Period.
It's really like what they gravitate towards, and there's no one way of doing everything. So I think that's where this part irks me a little bit.
Also, aspirating means to choke,
to choke.
on water.
It means when you get like things in your airway that should not be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
So men
not-
just needs to choke on it.
men just need to choke.
Yeah. Be masculine. Choke.
Oh my
Some
God.
tricks to voice
Okay,
max.
is that it?
Here are additional bonus points that, coupled with a strong voice, can give you a more commanding.
it never ends.
So many great
Filler words
actors
such
are
as
really like it's clickbait.
It is
Right?
clickbait.
Is that the technical term?
So.
you know, and the rest. Increase your vocabulary.
rest.
The
Increase
more
your
words
vocabulary.
you know and use. the
Remove
more
words,
articulate you
put
sound.
words back
Use
in.
pauses effectively when speaking. If you pause at the perfect time, your words sound more
I
compact.
love
It
filler words.
allows
That's so
them time
interesting.
to
And I use filler words so much in my voice training because it's often those words that help us reset our voice so much. And I do feel like when you've mastered the filler words, like the rest falls into place
So
too.
I can't agree more.
Especially because, you know, the filler words, I use those so much to train healthy voice. So
And I think was a really interesting choice. Like remove the filler word like the thing that
that's not the first one that comes to mind as a filler
no,
word.
but I think it also like it's about removing the things that help people connect during speech.
Yeah.
Like
Checking in with understanding. And I see you.
Yeah.
Right?
same. And then the third one, it was like allow more time for pausing.
Pausing, yeah.
And honestly, I'm kind of pro that. Men
Yeah.
need to be silent more.
Choke and shut up.
You can't speak while you're choking.
Yeah, exactly.
more accurately. Read aloud to practice.
Yes.
It's actually not that hard to voice max, but it does require a ton of practice. Let me know in the comments down below how the tips work.
I
How to
go
get
into the
want to watch
comments
how to
see
get veins that
comments.
actually pop next. We're gonna move on to the next one. This one is called How to Have a Deeper Voice Naturally. And this runs through some of the common exercises, like some of the ones we just looked at. But it also cites some research on attraction. Oh, Nora.
Today I will show you 7 natural ways to deepen your voice. My goal is to get you right around 96 hertz. Scientifically, this is the most
96 hertz?
attractive
Oh.
tone for a man. It's
Oh,
a proof
okay, right out the
He's
gate.
speaking so fast. I
Yeah.
feel like he's
Scientifically, this is the most attractive tone for a man. Citation needed. Maybe he cited a source, though. Do you think he did?
in the. Where do you put that on YouTube? In the little
let's
box
look
in
in
the
the
bottom?
down here. No,
Nothing.
nothing down there. Okay, well, but we can get into his paid creator community.
that it works. I want you to download any voice
Oh, did you see
analyzer.
that? Did you see voice
I saw
tools?
voice tools.
I want you to speak into the app to see where your hertz level is. Then I want you to do it again after each tip to see your voice.
Okay, so
get
Voicemaxxers
deeper.
are out here with voice tools,
With
literally
using-
using the same app that
Yeah.
trans people are.
I got something right.
They did.
1. Do diaphragmatic breathing exercises. You do this by training to breathe through your diaphragm
Do
muscle.
you feel like he's yelling?
I do feel like he's yelling.
Okay. I'm like, why are you mad at me?
Most of you are doing it wrong, and you know you're doing it wrong if your shoulders are bobbing up and down. This is called
Okay, we
shallow
talked about
breathing.
this. Yeah, we talked
and what
about
this
this.
means
This
is
is
that your
fine.
voice is in
Okay,
your
fun
vocal
fact, fun
cords.
short story about me. I have done so much belly breathing in my life
Mm-hmm.
as a singer that I actually have like core muscle problems. Like I've been to
Like
physio.
overactive or?
Like underactive.
Oh.
Like it, yeah. I've had to go to physiotherapy and they're like, you're breathing, like you don't use anything up here. And I'm like, yeah, because because I'm a
I
singer.
trained it out of me.
I trained it out of me, seriously. And so I like don't contract my core enough in general, and it has led to a lot of problems.
Interesting.
So there are some negative things to
belly
consistent
breathing.
all the time belly breathing. Like
Yeah.
I'm supposed to contract a little more, breathe a little more from the sides sometimes. Yeah, like in yoga, they do like a side breath, you know? You ever seen that?
No, I don't exercise. I told you.
It's an easy exercise to strengthen your diaphragm muscle to breathe better. I want you to
Strengthen
lay
the
on your back
diaphragm
on a
muscle.
flat surface with your knees bent. Place your hand on your upper chest and your second one on your belly, right under
did
your
this.
rib cage.
I like
want
this
you to
guy's
walking
breathe
us
in
through.
slowly through your nose, letting the air in deeply towards your lower belly. The hand on your chest should remain still, while the one on your belly should be raising
I did
upward.
this for-
Then
Well, I
want
can't
you
I
to
find
did
how.
tighten
this
your
for
abdominal
years. I
muscles
did
at the
so
peak
much
of it
of
and
this.
let those muscles fall inwards as you exhale. The hand on your belly
Yeah,
should move down
okay.
to its original position.
All right, diaphragmatic breathing, yes, fine, good.
What does he say it does though?
That's the thing I don't get. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't do. They just say, here are 5 exercises that'll
Yeah.
voice max you
At the beginning, didn't he say it was the most masculine way to
to
use your
get
voice?
to
or
96 hertz.
hertz, right,
That's
okay.
the most masculine.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go back.
Practice humming down your vocal cord. Humming
Humming
allows
down
you to
your
warm up
vocal
your vocal
cords.
cords so you can have more control over your voice. To start and do this right, you want to take in a deep diaphragm breath like we just practiced. Then I want you to hum out slowly.
Ready?
As you hum out, I want you to regulate your tone downwards until you get to a level that feels natural.
Wait, until you get to a level that you.
He raised his
Yeah, he raised his pitch.
He's so impressed with himself the way he's like,
Yeah, I did that.
I'm doing
okay,
the thing.
on the screen, the pitch went from 150 to
Like
96,
96?
which is the sexiest pitch,
Yeah.
according to him. But in reality,
It went up.
it went up.
Essentially, you are training your vocal cords and your ears for total control. Now, as you speak, you'll be able to find that perfect tone naturally. 3. I want you to
Why, though?
Yeah.
What is that? What does humming have to do with finding that perfect tone naturally?
I don't know.
I don't get that.
I don't get it either. Also, he's conflating or like mixing up tone and pitch, maybe?
Yeah, there's a bit of a definitional issue here.
Yeah.
They're always talking about pitch. I haven't heard any of them talk about resonance that much. Like,
It's all marketing, right? Because it's this prescriptivist, like, if you just do this, then you will be fixed.
Exactly. People
Yeah.
want to be told the right or wrong way, right? They don't want to know. They don't want to hear it's messy. They don't want to hear you have
You're
to play. It's
preaching
gonna
to
take
the
time. I know. I know. So, yeah, I don't know where I was going with this, but
No one is self-discovery maxing.
no
No.
one is self-discovery maxing,
No.
and they should be.
oh, I like that self-discovery maxing.
Yeah.
do neck crunches to strengthen your neck muscles. There are 2 muscles that surround your vocal cords. When these get tense,
More
you put
Wait,
sternum
what?
pressure on your vocal
mastoid
cords.
stuff.
which makes
No,
your voice
but I
sound
think
higher.
is he referring to these muscles
I think he
or
was.
these?
Oh,
ones?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Pressure
yeah,
on
these
your
are, like,
vocal cords.
radiating.
Which makes your voice sound higher.
So I need you to stretch out these muscles and strengthen them over time. So one of the best exercises is doing neck crunches. For these first 3,
want a
I'm
thick
training
neck,
your
that's
neck
fine.
and your body so your voice can get into that natural deep tone. Before, I want you to read books out loud. Think about it. Your average guy
That'll
does
lower your
not
voice.
speak a lot on a day-to-day basis. Read at least 1 page
What
out
Yeah,
was he
what are the
writing?
books?
a day.
The Art of
As you do,
Impossible, peak performance driver. No, I
don't
need
hate
you-
this. 1 page
No.
aloud per day. It's a great,
great.
stimuli for practicing your target voice.
But maybe read something like read fiction. you know?
Yeah, read a good sci-fi book.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pro reading. I think we can. Well, he doesn't have chapters. Oh, this is horrible.
Voice
We should have
tone until
counted
you
how many
find
times
that
this
nice
graphic of,
deep
like,
tone
the
that
hertz
sounds natural.
dropping.
You should do this daily. I want you to have a
Again.
monotone voice. Deep
I'm seeing a
voices
theme
are
here.
great.
Yeah.
They're hard to get right. According to this
I don't
study,
feel like he
they
sounds
found that
monotone,
men
No.
with
Yeah.
voices that varied less, they tend to have more sexual partners.
Wait, where's
they
that study?
concluded
Wait, we
that
gotta find it. Go back here. Ah, here we
Oh.
go.
Women find men with monotonous voices irresistible by HD correspondent. An international team has carried out the study and found that most women find such men irresistible as monotonous voices are associated with strength, confidence, and power.
Editing T here. So I lost like an hour of my life looking up this study, so now that's your problem. So let's just pull up my notes. In the video, this guy is referencing a Times of India article, which he's put all the data into a motion graphics template so you won't be able to tell where it's from. That Times of India article is just referencing a Daily Telegraph article, which Daily Telegraph is like, anyway. I was able to find the study. It seems to be voice correlates of mating success in men, examining contests versus mate choice, modes of sexual selection. Maybe we'll put the link down in the I don't know. Anyway, so the study was published in Archives of Sexual Behavior. Now, I am a recovering academic. I'm not a sexology academic, so I can't speak authoritatively on this, but it is a publication founded by Richard Green and run by Kenneth Zucker. Now, Richard Green and Kenneth Zucker are both proponents of conversion therapy for gay and trans people. They try and worm their way around the wording, but like that's what it is. Zucker even had a clinic closed, I believe due to allegations of conversion therapy in Ontario, so not great. The study itself, 178 men, 35 women, university undergrads. The 35 women were doing most of like, you know, the evaluative work, so 35, not great. Part of this was asking the men the number of female sexual partners they had had over the last year, which is obviously self-reported by American university-age men. And the data seemed so skewed that they had to run analysis on it to do some kind of like bell curving to make it seem like it was accurate. So they had the women like read transcripts of what the men said and then also listen to their voices. And they primed the women by telling them that dominant men are often respected, influential, and often a leader, quote, and asked them how likely they thought the men were to win in a fist fight in another part of the analysis. I leave that to you. The research itself admitted that it had little predictiveness on anything resembling like a long-term attractiveness, only on short-term attractiveness, quote, like a one-night stand. Great. And then lastly, even in like the Times of India article that I'm assuming is just directly quoting the Daily Telegraph article, which I refuse to look at, the power would be attractive, not the voice as such. It appears that the women are preferring males who are higher in status. It would be the status that they would be most interested in. Which, if that's your takeaway, like, you primed the research subjects by telling them that dominant men are, quote, respected, influential, and often a leader, i.e. powerful, i.e. your definition of high status. And given that all of our cultural stereotypes from media and everything else around powerful men equals deep, gravelly, monotone voice, like, yeah, you just skewed your own study completely. I don't know. It seems like junk to me. Now that's your problem. You know that. Back to the video.
Oh no. All right.
It is not so much the monotone voice that gets the woman. It signals that you are a high status man. So how do you speak more monotone? I want you to add more pauses as you talk. This is going to remove emotion from your voice. And it's
remove emotion from your voice.
Volume, pitch, so they all stay the same and you sound more monotone. We are 5 tips in and your voice should
Pausing
be
doesn't mean you're
significantly deeper
monotone.
if you're following
Also.
along. These last 2 I'm about to show you are expert level tips no one talks about, but are
But I will.
scientifically backed to make your voice more attractive. Number 6, I want you to breathe out as you speak. This is called aspirate. You can try it right now
again, with
yourself to see the
aspirating.
immediate difference.
Who
Do it
speaks
right.
on an inhale is
That-
what I want to know.
I want you to slowly push the air out of
There's
your
no
mouth.
other way
That's
to
as
literally
you
how
speak
you
every
speak.
word.
Yeah.
2014 study.
Wait,
found
whoa,
that.
whoa, here we go. Study human vocal behavior within competitive and courtship contexts and its relation to mating success. I don't like this. Men displaying faster articulation rate and louder voices reported significantly more.
Report, well,
Reporting.
of course.
Of course. I want to report how many sexual partners I've had.
Test this
Again,
and
with this
see where your
breathy
voice is
thing.
at with the app. When you do so,
There's
think
another
about
voice tools.
almost as if you're
Aspiration.
talking through a sigh. You'll take in that deep breath, and it's almost like you're sighing out and speaking at the same time. Number 7, drink
Am I-
more water.
This
Now,
Drink
you
more
might think
water?
that this is just for health, and that it doesn't have
We've
an
been
impact
here
on how deep
before.
your voice. Loss of water or dehydration leads to a loss of mass.
I can't believe that they're reporting this. Drink friggin' water. I don't think we need to learn more about that. Fruit. Have more fruit. Hell yeah.
85% water, and it's a tastier way to get hydrated if you're the type of guy that can't put down H2O. That's it for me today.
Eat fruit.
If you guys enjoyed it,
Okay.
Wow. Okay, but a lot of crossover.
Yes, a lot.
They're getting
of
this information
crossover.
from somewhere. I don't know.
I
They're all
guess-
talking to each other.
This is why Nora said that it was how did she call it? Representative ones. I just think we can come back to what you were saying about voices and attraction as if that's a metric that you can like aspire to or measure. Like, it's so not.
Especially if it's self-reported, like T was saying, you know?
Yeah. The more you dig, the less it seems like they care what women think if they're straight, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Well, also you can see a real dovetail, I think, in these two videos when they're talking about quote unquote diaphragmatic breathing and they're talking about like this neck stuff. Like, you're both talking about how like, okay, maybe if you like stretch the neck, but like stretching yoga women
Sure.
building muscle
Gym
equals
man.
men.
Yeah.
So it's like they're constantly, even when they're in the ballpark of something, right? They have to couch it in like 8 layers of like swole man Clint Eastwood, and it detracts them from being able to make an actual salient point.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
So this one is called How to Create a Deeper Voice, and her notes are a very classic masculinity plus alt wellness type creator.
Oh, and then the time.
Oh no. Okay. Here we go. Let's check this out. Oh, I know this one.
Hey, so we got a great question from one of our friends who
Nora,
wants to
show
know
us this
how
one.
Elliot Hulse changed his voice. So apparently he's been watching some of my videos from several years ago where my voice was at a much higher pitch, and he notices that it's much deeper now and what I'm going to call more grounded. So the long story short is that since I discovered bioenergetics and how the body is a manifestation of the psychological character of an individual, and that we can create what I call neurotic holding patterns.
What?
Neurotic holding patterns.
External world. Our body takes on the character of the predominant psychology of the individual.
I don't know if I'd call that bioenergetics or
or neurotic holding patterns.
I'm sure there's like a nice psychological word.
Yeah.
That's normal.
On this video, including my
beautiful eyes.
some of the crazier
I was gonna
ones.
say, wow, he's attractive.
The person that I was a uptight, rigid individual. My energy was way too high, and that's why I used the term grounded just now.
Way too high.
What I've
High
been
energy.
able to do is, through bioenergetics, break up the muscular armoring throughout all of my extra-respiratory muscles and allow my energy to drive much deeper. Often I talk about breathing into your balls. Well,
Whoa, hold on. Whoa, no. Let's just back it up.
often I talk about breathing into your balls. Well,
Oh, I talked
before
over
was-
that. That's crucial information. Yeah, breathing into your balls. This is not the first time I have heard this.
Okay, we're
or
gonna
come
get
across
into,
this.
we're gonna listen to this more, but tell me your immediate reaction to the concept of breathing into your balls.
Well, what if you don't have balls?
Well,
first of
there's,
all?
that's a good,
It at least means you're very flexible.
Yeah. I mean, how do you get your breath down there? I don't know. I'd love to see somebody try.
Okay, listen. Nora and I actually had a little disagreement about this because
Okay.
I used to use the cue with some of my vocal students of breathing into your butt. And Nora
Okay.
was like, that's worse.
Is it worse?
Well, that's what she said.
That sounds better than breathing into your balls.
But I think either way, breathing into your balls, breathing into your butt, what you're thinking of is relaxing your pelvic floor so
Yeah.
that you can just relax your core muscles
core,
and then the air
yeah.
can go deeper. Yeah, I think it's, again, an example of something that I think could be a fine cue, but it has to be couched in this like super hyper masculine,
Yeah.
like why balls? Why?
Yeah.
breathing in a castrated fashion, and a castrated voice. My energy never went lower than my chest. Again,
It also ties into
my
like losing your male genitalia is like the worst thing that could happen to a man too. Like you're castrated, therefore you're less of a man.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Breathing in a castrated fashion is so out of pocket. It's so unnecessary. You do not need to be talking about these things this
No,
way.
we could have got there in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the very first thing is to open up your capacity to breathe deep. I've done videos on this before. I'll
What does
link
that
it
look
up.
like?
But there's the bioenergetic stool. This thing.
What?
That I practice and I stretch on, and I breathe deep with an open mouth on in order to bring my to open up.
That's unnecessary.
So it's also the opposite of like nasal breathing too, which was what talked about before too.
You're so right. Now we're breathing with our mouth
Very big.
very
Did you guys
wide.
see that big? I'm sure you did.
Can you do that? Wow, the stool is interesting. Do you see the bioenergetic stool?
Yeah.
It looked like a regular stool
I
with
think
like
he
a broom
attached
handle
a broom across the top of it or
and
something.
a sweater or something.
Yeah.
Bungee cords. I kind of want
Maybe
one.
he'll show us how to
Make
that.
one?
Yeah.
I hope so.
My ability to breathe. The other thing that's very helpful is to make deep resonating sounds and help your body vibrate in order to break up some of the neurotic holding patterns.
Okay. This is my issue with a lot of this. It's like, if you want to have a deeper voice, just have a deeper voice. Like there's sort of no how to. Like, yeah. It's like, you want to have a deep resonant voice, just speak in a deep resonant way. Like, there's no instruction about how to get there.
Or exercises or...
If you tell them, oh, just fix it, and give them no actual tools to fix it, and then they become depressed, then you can sell them more things.
Exactly. And I know this feels like a kind of pot calling the kettle black thing, because I do sell courses, but we also put a lot of exercises onto the internet for free.
Yeah. And there's a variety in your exercises too, where it's like, if this one doesn't work, there's many other ones you could try.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're not telling people they need an emotional support stool.
Yeah.
But if you want one, you can make one, apparently. They're all so long.
Especially in the hips and in the belly. I hold most of my tension, even today, in my belly. So I've got to do different things, including the ball massage that I show you in the other video.
A ball
in
massage?
my deep breathing video. But I also do a lot of grounding exercises. I call this the ground bounce, and it's a part of my bioenergetic warm-up routine. I'll put up another link if I remember to that. That's on my other channel. But it goes something like this. I wear no shoes, and oftentimes when I make these videos I take my shoes off because it helps bring my energy down.
But yeah, it sounds like he had like maybe some anxiety, and he has worked through that in like a what's the word? Not a tactile way or a physical way. There's like a somatic way. Like it sounds like this is a somatic therapy for him.
Yeah.
Which I'm pro in general.
Yeah, me too.
Not pro this video.
I also massage my feet with a foam roller.
Nice.
Sure.
That sounds great.
I just bounce on my heels, and as you heard me just started to do, I start to make a deep resonating sound that comes from my belly. Now this may be difficult to do at first if you have tension in your belly, like I often do, so you might have to massage it or stretch on the bioenergetic stool. You're also going to want to hold your mouth open while you're doing that.
That seems like it would add a lot of
tension. Yeah. I know, it's kind of, he's giving a lot of somewhat relaxation techniques, and then
adding
some that
tension.
also are not very. I want to see this stool.
Show me the stool. Like, you can totally do this, and it can then have no impact on your voice. Like, I can also go and talk the exact same way. It doesn't change how I speak, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're nice things to do, but will it have an appreciable difference on your voice? Maybe.
Maybe it also won't, though.
Yeah.
I like that this one's also giving maybe more examples and is being even more playful with it. Like making fun noises, like that's a big part of voice training.
It is. Who's the devil's advocate now?
Yeah, I know. I love it.
Your mouth open, you relax a lot of the muscles that are in your throat.
No.
Right? I didn't understand at first, but my experience tells me that it's true. This is what my mentor does.
My experience tells me it's true.
Oh,
I did no research whatsoever, but
okay, so to clarify, holding your mouth open will not decrease tension. Not the way he's doing it, especially.
no, I mean, it may stretch out your kind of jaw muscles a little
Yeah.
bit, but usually we do a little bit of massage.
Would be better.
Yeah, no, that'll increase your tension.
Hold your mouth open and bounce on your toes. You make a sound that resonates within your body. It looks like this.
I wish we had those yoga balls.
I know. I love it.
Yeah.
I wish I could get my students to be this playful.
This goofy and
playful. Yeah.
I know, me too.
I'm trying to find that really deep spot, right? I feel great right now. I'm trying to find that deep spot right below my belly button. When you begin to open up, particularly the throat, through the deep breathing exercises and the ground bouncing like I just showed you.
We
So
want
that's
an
it.
open throat.
Yeah, for
That's healthy.
masculinizing.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Well, and
And in
even
general.
for like a resonant voice, like if you're thinking about like, oh god, what
The
was
area
those called?
epiglottic?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
sphincter, right? So
Yeah.
it's like sometimes that could get a little tight.
Sure.
So we want that to be like open generally, but we're not doing that by opening our mouth.
No.
That's the back pressure of the semi-occluded vocal tract that would help with that.
Yes.
Didn't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to cut it short right now. I'll continue to share more information about this with you guys, but
become the
it's
strongest
been a
version of
byproduct
yourself.
of my use and study of bioenergetics. So good luck with that, buddy. Elliot's sick. What?
This one is Get a Deep Voice Affirmations. And if you'll notice, it's just beautiful rain sounds.
I fell asleep with this last night, I think.
It says headphones required. This video has affirmations for getting a deeper voice. Just listen to the audio. You can listen while doing other activities as well, but you must be awake, so that wasn't going to work on you in your sleep. What?
Oh, no,
it's a
listen.
subliminal. What did you say? Listening while
It says
asleep.
listening while asleep will help your progress, but not unless you are listening while awake.
What? Listen 3 to 6 times a day. This is a money-making scheme on YouTube. Oh my God. They're probably making bank from ads.
All the ads, yeah.
Look how many views it has, almost 1 million. Okay, I don't think it needs to be said. Subliminals, let me pause this, holy moly, just in case I accidentally masculinize your voice without your permission. Subliminals do not work.
No.
That's not a thing for anything. All results
Which is so
are permanent,
attractive.
it says.
Yeah. Be careful.
Yeah, but I've seen these for like eye color.
I haven't seen that.
And height. Hidden under the music because they are hidden by the music and you can't hear them. They go right. We can't spend any more time on this. This is ridiculous. Okay, we're moving on.
My mind is blown that this is something.
Can we start doing this? We could use the extra revenue.
I was thinking maybe we should just quit our jobs and
do this?
record the Montreal rainstorms and make millions.
Yeah. So we have a choice here. How to get a deeper voice. This entire second half of the video talks about the masculinity crisis and distress he feels when not being masculine enough and how he feels like a father figure for his audience.
Imagine having a deeper, more resonant, more masculine voice and people start taking you more seriously. Because right now you sound a little bit like Jeffrey, and Jeffrey sounds like a little with his high-pitched, creaky voice. You hear his voice drop, and so no one takes Jeffrey and you seriously. But Jeffrey says to you that it's okay, that trying to make your voice deeper is gay. Are you gonna listen to him? Because you know what's interesting?
Wait, what? Trying to make your voice deeper is gay?
What?
Isn't that like the opposite?
Yeah, what? I don't understand that.
Also, who's Jeffrey? Are we supposed to know who that
I
is?
don't.
Or is
I
that
think it's like
a character in his universe?
This person has 2.2 million subscribers. Please don't come after us. We're but humble voice teachers. Like.
Everyone listens to Adonis. Adonis has the loudest, most clearest, most masculine, most deepest voice out of all of the men in his tribe. Well, he's the tribe leader after all. He has to shout
It's
the
like
command.
the stereotypical like handsome Squidward Chad face.
It's Chad versus Virgin, but with SEO optimization.
Wait, how many Adonises do you know?
0.
Good
I
plug.
remember being about 13, 14 years old and playing Minecraft, and we would all hop on Skype and have like Skype calls whilst we'd play. And I would literally practice, like train my voice to be deeper. And I did that because I was the oldest of all the guys that I would play with, and so I wanted to seem like, you know, the leader, like the most mature one, the one who's going through puberty. And so I would literally talk in more of a deep, sort of unnatural voice. What I didn't realize at the time is that that is actually how you train your voice to be deeper. It's simple as that. I won't even make you wait like 15 minutes into the video. I would literally just speak in a deeper way like I am right now. Because if you compare the way that I'm speaking, I'm just using more of like the back of my throat to speak. And now I'll transition back to my normal voice. So don't do it at times where it'll be like cringe.
There's a little shift.
A little, very subtle shift.
I think if he didn't say anything, I maybe wouldn't have even noticed.
I wouldn't have clocked it.
Yeah.
No.
And speaking in the back of your throat, is that what he said? The back
I'm
of your
guessing
mouth?
he means like opening up in the back.
Yeah, an open resonance. Yeah.
I don't have any immediate problems with this.
No, I like that he's actually saying, you know, we need to practice, build new habits, and kind of, and I like that he's simplifying it actually, because I think with a lot of my clients that come and see me, we can like over-intellectualize a lot of things and like talk about it so much, about the different, you know, biomechanics and all that. And I like that he
is like
just saying, do the thing,
it,
do it and try, right? And experiment, yeah.
And I think a lot of people worry about like creating a character voice, but he doesn't seem to have this fear. It's like, I'm doing a deeper voice. Yeah, instead of like, I also think it's fascinating that he was like 13, 14 and doing this, which is like a time of discovering who you are as a man, or a boy, a teenager, right? But that's also a time of like seriously growing into your body, and like it started unnatural, and then he probably, rather than it like becoming a habit he learned, he probably went through puberty, and like then got bigger, and like that voice was easier to make, or I don't know his story. Yeah, exactly. Interesting though.
But when I'm flirting with a girl,
Maybe you are.
100% you need to activate that slow, resonant, masculine voice. You like stare at her in her eyes and you talk like this and you move real slow. You're getting turned on, aren't you, bro? So this is exactly what you do. You put deep voice training somewhere in your schedule. Maybe you're working on something, maybe it's your morning routine, but just speak outwards. Like you need to speak out loud. The more you speak like this, the more that you'll really be able to like articulate yourself.
Okay, this is interesting because there are a lot of people who respond really well to imitation, and it's like they don't need exercises.
Yeah.
And it's like they hear the voice that they like, they imitate it, and they can implement it instantly.
And carry it over into every day.
And that, for that person, I wouldn't touch exercises because it only holds them back by making them overthink, like you were saying earlier. And it sounds like this is one of those people.
This is, that's his jam, his bread and butter, I think, is just making it as easy as possible.
I just think it's sad to see someone positioning their experience as like the only way. Like, I mean, not that sounds like I'm defending the exercises we just watched, but it's like all these exercises online. No, all you need is this. It's like, yes, some people need just what you're offering, and some people need more complicated exercises, and there's no wrong way.
Yeah, there's no wrong way, exactly.
Period.
Yeah.
All right, we got a little more to watch here.
Natural. It's just kind of like a habit. You speak like a little because you have been speaking like a little for so long. If you want to speak in a more resonant, more deep,
I was defending you, bro.
Way. So of course, I'd squeak back to my normal, like squeaky little Minecrafter voice, but I'd regulate myself, just keep practicing with a deeper voice. And it really made a big difference. I know that this video topic's kind of cringe, like, wait, why would you try to make your voice deeper? But the truth is, like, so many young men want this. Young men want to be more masculine. So the specific thing we're talking about is like, yeah, make your voice deeper and sound more masculine. But the truth is, this is so important for young men. We want to be more like men. We don't want to sound like boys anymore. We don't want to look like boys. This is so interesting. I didn't even think the video would go in this angle, but I am really seeing like our generation of men really trying to reclaim our masculinity, our strength. We didn't start off with this. For the majority of us, we didn't start off with like that healthy masculine male role model because that should have been our father, but maybe our father wasn't around, maybe he was abusive, maybe he was taken out of the home by like the societal political structures which are against men, or either way it's kind of... Wait.
I think like we agree, but we have different ideas of what's happening.
I feel kind of bad picking him apart because this is like gender-affirming care. Like he just wants to be affirmed in his masculinity.
But he just said something that we cannot gloss, which was like, men being like oppressed by societal structures against men.
Yeah.
And I don't think, I was thinking like anti-immigrant laws, like fathers being ripped out of their homes and deported. But that is not what he's talking about. So like, I do think men need role models, but they need a variety of role models to be able to express the full panoply of human emotion. And those role models can include women.
Their mother.
Hello. Yeah.
That we as a generation of young men are coming online to like learn the things that we should have been taught from childhood. I really didn't think the video would go this way. I thought I was literally just going to speak about like how to make your voice deeper, and it's a bit cringe, but whatever. It's making me kind of visualize myself almost like I should be filling the shoes that fatherlessness has left empty for our generation of men. That I should see myself as like your father, that I should come onto these videos and speak to you in like the very sort of like unconditionally loving way that we all needed so much when we were children.
I don't know if I like
he wants to be our father figure.
Yeah. Like there's a parasocial element to this that I do not like.
Turbo parasocial.
Yes, it's extremely like a relationship with a parent is not one where you know everything about them because you watch them every day and they don't even know you're alive. So I have have some feelings. It's kind of like Mel Robbins, who always says "I love you" to her listeners on her podcast.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
This is good. I'm sorry that I
Okay.
mentioned it. But
No, okay.
I just think it's not responsible for content creators to
position themselves as like a caregiver. Or, yeah.
Exactly. I don't think it's responsible for us as voice care providers to do that.
No.
Like you have to have boundaries.
Also, is he wearing tooth gems or just very shiny teeth?
It just looks like a great set of chompers.
Okay.
There is a masculinity crisis. Men just aren't really masculine anymore, and some people make fun of this. Some people say, you know, like, oh, that's cringe, and you don't need to be masculine. Men should be more feminine and everything.
We need booze in this, I think.
When a guy isn't masculine, he feels like don't you? Like I do. When we've grown up with being way more feminine and not being masculine, we've looked over at those guys who are masculine and they're getting the parts of life that we wanted, like attraction from women and success. And we're here.
Okay, wait a second. Why do these creators think that attraction from women comes from being the most masculine?
I don't know.
Because
they don't have
talk
fathers.
to women.
Yeah.
Because they don't talk to women? Yeah. I mean, we both like men. So like,
yeah.
I don't know. I know people are surprised when I say that too. But like my partner is not a turbo masculine. I don't know.
No, I don't know where they get this idea of like hypermasculine men is the or masculinity is the only form of like desirable masculinity.
And if you talk to any straight woman,
mm-hmm.
she will say, I don't even want to put words in the mouths of women, but like, you know, they're not going to be like, yes, I want the hyper masculine man. That's my dream.
Despite the fact that they get pulled into it a lot, women are aware of, oh, this beauty company is attempting to sell me
something.
Yeah.
Yes,
what
exactly.
They don't understand is like, hey, guess what? 20 years of Marvel movies where they have to CG the abs onto Chris Hemsworth, who already has abs, is not coming from a cabal of women. It's coming from typically a bunch of men making the movie, but because those men are portrayed as like, as they would say, the highest status, like they assume there's an objective measure behind that, which there isn't.
There isn't. No.
This is the sad video.
This was labeled the good. No, this wasn't the good one. This was the emotional one.
This is the emotional one.
I'm feeling emotional.
Yeah.
I think we're almost, oh God, there's still like 2 minutes left. Okay.
Maybe it's my ego or whatever, but like I think the work that I do here and my team as well, it's so damn important to cultivate. It's a beautiful mindset, man.
Also, we haven't talked about the kind of cultural and linguistic differences of like a masculine voice. Like we're just talking about, you know, we're in Canada, kind of a Western lens, looking at like, you know, a low pitch equals masculinity.
A deep resonance equals masculinity.
Yeah, but there's also other cultures out there, and I'm in sociolinguistics, like there's many other cultures that value, or not value, but
that have different codes of gender.
Describe, would have different codes of gender.
Yeah, there are certain cultures where there's like less dimorphism, like less difference between how men and women speak, and there are certain cultures where everyone speaks in a higher pitch, or everyone speaks in a lower pitch, or women speak lower than men.
Or, exactly, yeah.
So like, it really is another way to reduce like the vast diversity of gender around the world. I was gonna like put an American spin on it, but this guy's obviously from the UK or something.
I think he's a Geordie. I don't know for sure, but I think so. He's from Newcastle, maybe.
Yeah.
I think what we're cultivating here in this cult, this brotherhood,
he calls
is
himself a cult.
so valuable. I don't think that this is being done anywhere else. Like this is not just a simple YouTube video. This is literally like a cult, a movement of young men wanting to be more like Adonis. We hear Adonis's wisdom being passed down to us.
Yeah.
And we try our best.
I mean, all of the presenters or YouTube content creators, they have an overlap of like charismatic cult leader.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. They would probably be complimented by that fact.
I take it back. Your algorithm's going to be completely messed up from all these videos.
You can remove these from your watch history.
I plan to.
Oh, good.
I plan to. So the last category we have from Nora is the good ones. And so this one is called Making Your Voice Deeper, the Sound of Authority, Public Speaking YouTube. The only video in my sample to be made by someone with a voice background. She's got a performance background, and a master's in vocal pedagogy.
Have you seen the videos out there telling you how to make your voice deeper? They're not by qualified voice coaches with a degree in voice, and really half the content is just fluff. So if you want a deeper voice, but you currently sound like this.
My name's Mitch from the Gold Coast, nice and sunny in Australia.
But really want to sound like this.
Now, believe it or not, that's the way I used to sound before I met Alyssa.
Then this video is for
also his
you.
accent has
Whether you're
changed.
male or female, everyone can learn better voice techniques. Learning to speak with a deeper tone can be easily learned, and a deeper voice can earn you more money, more respect, and make you sound more confident.
Can I just say, I wish this were not the case.
Mm.
Like, I do know that there are certain correlations between like having a deeper, more resonant voice and people respecting you or listening to you. And I think that sucks, and I think it's rooted in misogyny.
I know.
That
I have had some clients come to me that are wanting to have, they're feminizing their voice, but they also want a part of their old voice to carry into their new voice to sound more authoritative or confident or things like that. So yeah, it sucks.
Forcing your voice too low can cause a vocal fatigue and strain when not done properly. So please listen to your body and start doing the exercises coming up slowly and carefully.
Okay, we're skipping ahead here. Frog breath. Let's check out this exercise.
It really works fast. Check it out. When I take a deep breath like that, my lower lungs are filled effortlessly in 1 second flat.
So this is the opposite of the nasal breathing. It's like breathing on an open ah.
Inhale,
I use this one a lot actually in my practice when I'm trying to help people who are masculinizing to like really drop the larynx. I always said on like a silent gasp, like
Yeah.
and it works really well. Yeah, you get that openness immediately. So yeah.
No shallow chest breathing going on here. My stomach pops out because my diaphragm has been used correctly, which some people call belly breath. And when we want to speak with a deep, commanding tone, we need to take a breath in like that first. So let's try together. You ready? Do you feel the tummy pop out and get fatter?
I do.
I do.
Fatter?
If the answer is yes, you did it right. But keep in mind though, that choosing to lower your voice box every day during speaking can be very tiring because you're using more muscles. Those bungee ropes are pulling the voice box down. It's like doing a squat for hours a day.
Maybe if you're like really pushing it.
Yeah, but you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't go from never lowering your larynx to doing it all day.
No.
Yeah.
Like I could speak like this for a long time without it feeling like too onerous on my system.
Yeah.
Because I'm not like pushing it really far down or anything like that. Like there's some nuance
There's
there.
there's a balance. And I mean, you'd be surprised how often your larynx is going bobbing up and down throughout the day anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
The voice box is in a naturally lower resting position straight after we wake up.
Have you heard that?
Have you ever had a conversation with somebody that just got out of bed?
Okay.
Hi.
That's
Did
like
I wake you
hydration,
up?
though.
Yeah.
No, I've been awake for hours. You can tell
And not just hydration, but also like letting it, like your muscles were at rest, so they have to like warm up.
Warm up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. It's okay, but.
So play around with those sounds and find the best pitch that feels right and sounds right for your voice. If you've enjoyed
So is
this
that just
video today,
maintaining
I know
a
you'll get
resonant
tons
shape
of value
that is
out of
darker
my
and then
next
changing
video.
the pitch lower? Is that what she was
Yeah,
saying?
like and she said it's not for all the time, but if I'm speaking, public speaking, and I'm saying, this is gonna change your life,
Right.
or something like that. I don't know. I maybe I don't know enough about like public speaking or what they do, like what public speakers do. Maybe I don't know.
Some speech language pathologists do work on like public speaking and in voice work in like a professional setting. I honestly don't know too much about it, but maybe that's what she's tapping into.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I really loved that. I thought there were some good points. I would need to watch more of this person's content to get kind of a fuller picture of what they offer, but I didn't see anything like overly wrong. Like there maybe some more nuance could be added here, but
I love that it's also like a woman teaching us how to deepen our voice, and she has the most kind of credible video out there. How did we get here?
Okay, well, I'm gonna stop. You can continue to record, but I'm gonna stop the recording here. We looked at so many things today, Rory. What are your big takeaways?
Oh my God. I mean, I just worry for the men that are going and finding these videos, I guess. Listen, like maybe some of this works for you too, right? Like I don't know. Like breathing through your diaphragm, sure, that's, you know, a great way to breathe. You're probably already doing it. Drinking lots of water.
Love that
sure,
too.
Great.
Stay hydrated, boys.
And some of the exercises were bordering on like resonant voice, and you know, there's
and some were just downright not good.
And then
like
some
the
were not
neck
good, yeah.
crunches.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that. I wish that there was room for people to customize their character without it being like I have to do this to be a man. Like it's okay if you want a more masculine voice, but why does that also then have to be carried over into like, and because my voice is more masculine than your voice, I have more testosterone and sex partners and you know, like.
Maybe sit and ask why you want a more masculine voice.
Or why the one you have now isn't masculine enough for you.
Yeah, exactly. There isn't just one way of having a masculine voice.
Period. I don't think that like trans men are accessing this looksmaxxing stuff, but maybe I'm wrong. Like, are they?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not that online.
I hope not.
I hope not too.
Yeah.
One of the comments I get a lot from trans men is that they want to retain some of their like emotional expression that they had from a time before testosterone or a time before voice training. And that makes me happy to hear that there are men out there that want to be expressive and emotional. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. There's more than one way to be masculine.
Tons of ways, in fact.
Tons.
Well, thank you so much, Rory, for coming on the channel, being our first in-studio guest. And if you enjoyed Rory's visit, please thank them in the comments below, because we really spent a long time doing this today.
This was fun.
Yeah, this was really fun, but I'm ready to be done, I think.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
This was interesting being on the other side of the screen,
Yes.
the camera. Please be nice in the comments. I was so nervous to come on here because I know people can be very nasty
Don't
online.
worry, I highly moderate my comments.
Perfect. Block. But yeah, this was honestly such a treat. So thank you so much for having me.
We'll come back anytime. Thank you so much to Rory Jack for sharing his expertise and insights with us, and for not being too abjectly horrified by what we watched. You can find links to his website and practice in the description below.
They're down there now. Look.
So, is there any merit to voicemaxxing? I'll let you draw your own conclusions from what you just watched, but I will say, if you're interested in deepening and masculinizing your voice in a way that is evidence-based, safe, designed with you as a trans masc person in mind, and not built on terrible ideologies, that's exactly what my course, Masculinize Your Voice Without Testosterone, is for. I'll link it below. And if you want to keep exploring, check out my masculinization playlist on YouTube, where I have a growing collection of exercises, explainers, and deep dives on everything from the dad cough to vocal weight to what actually happens to your voice on T.
Due time for man.
And also, I will say, while we were scripting this episode, Alexander Avila released his video called Looksmaxxers, The Rise of the First Male-to-Male Transsexuals. And it was just like so serendipitous. We watched that while we were scripting this. And I think that that video goes into a much further deep dive into this Venn diagram I was referring to earlier. So please do watch that, because it was great. We really enjoyed it. Alex, you ever want to come on the channel, you're welcome. That's all for today. I've been Renee, and I hope this helps, although I'm really not sure why it would. So bad for infecting your party with the maxing suffix.
No. I mean, that's...
Focus.
Do you want the previous line for reference?
No.
Okay.
I know what it is.
Fair enough.
I cannot believe we're making a video.
Hey, we're trend chasing.
No!